How's it going, Dopamon fans? If you've been following along on the channel, you know I've been talking about the top Russian prospects for the 2022 NHL Entry Draft, and today we have my number 3, Alexander Perevalov. A little bit about him: he's a winger, stands 6 feet tall, and weighs in at 192 pounds. He spent most of his season playing for the Loko Yaroslavl in the NHL, the Junior League, where he put up a whopping 25 goals and 25 assists. That's 50 points in only 42 games. That put him third in points per game among all the first-year draft eligibles in the Russian Junior League this year. But the season stats don't tell the full story, because in the first 10 games, Perevalov scored 10 goals and 12 assists for 22 points. A ridiculous pace that put him on every scout's radar. But in the remainder of the regular season, he scored a modest 15 goals and 13 assists for 28 points in 32 games. That's under a point per game and not quite as productive as his start. Why he scored so much early and not later is something I'm going to get into a little bit later, but to start with the video, I'm going to break down his style of play first, because that is the best part about him. The defining feature of Perevalov's game is how he scans the ice in all 3 zones to constantly put himself in an advantageous position for the puck to land on his stick to make a play. I'll start in the offensive zone, where the best example of that is his ability to jump on rebounds and put the puck in the net. And not just that sweet spot on his strong side, watch him get this one in the slot. Or this one where he's fighting for body positioning in front of the net and backhands it in. He finds the puck in the dirty areas. And not just rebounds, but this second opportunity. Or watch him skate and make space for himself in the offensive zone so he can jump on this trickling puck to ensure a goal. Or something simple, like sneaking his way into the slot. And he has a strong forechecking game. Watch how he blocks the opposing breakout pass and manages to get the puck deep. Or this sneaky forecheck to get the inside position and knock the puck loose. Or even this simple play in overtime to quickly stick check the opposing D and keep the puck alive. Or here, where he's strong on the stick to deny the opposing breakout along the boards and get an assist. And intercepting a pass here to make a play. And his game translates to the neutral zone as well. Watch him here recognize the breakdown in defensive coverage and backcheck to free the puck. And again here on the power play. Defending from the neutral zone, watch him calmly deny the opposing breakout, and then get tripped in the offensive zone to draw a penalty. Or here, where he steals the loose puck, dekes the opposing defender, and scores. Or here, stealing the loose puck again. In this clip, watch him deny the opposing breakout any space twice. Or this stick check in the middle of the ice. And another stick check in the middle of the ice. And after a failed breakout by a teammate, watch his recovery to recognize space down the middle of the ice and score. But the best part of his game starts in the defensive zone. Watch in this clip how he blocks a shot that turns into an offensive opportunity. And again, here in the KHL, blocking another shot, this time carrying the puck himself for an offensive chance. Or here, how he skates to defend his check and is ready in the defensive zone for a quick transition and breakout pass. Or here on the PK, getting ahead of the opposing defenseman for a 2-on-1. And in that same game, recognizing the opposing defenseman lost control of the puck for another 2-on-1. And again here, recognizing a turnover in the defensive zone, but this time getting a breakaway and scoring. And from that same spot again, he works to get the puck up the ice. Or this similar play, recognizing from the defensive zone to beat the defender for a dump-in. Know that he's not cherry-picking for a breakaway, he's maintaining defensive positioning and reacting quickly to the play to beat defenders and put himself in the right spot. Or here on the PK, lifting a stick in front of his own net and then clearing the puck. Here again, in front of his own net, to be the one to get the loose puck and then skate it out of the zone. Now that you've seen how he plays, let's break down the tools he uses, and the biggest one is his strong lower body, which translates to his incredible balance and ability to throw strong hits. Like in this clip from the KHL facing against men, watch him fight for positioning in front of the net, then along the boards to make a pass, and then in the slot for a scoring opportunity. In this clip, watch him use his body positioning to fight multiple skaters for puck possession to get it up the ice and then into the slot. Or how he uses his body again in this similar clip to get the puck into the offensive zone and make a play along the boards. And in this body check, watch him completely pivot and turn 180 degrees before making this hit just to line it up perfect and get his full body into it. Or when taking this body check, look how he uses the boards to turn it into a sort of reverse hit. But most importantly, it translates to his elite skating with and without the puck, like here going end to end with the puck and cutting to the net. And in these next 3 clips, how he uses his speed from the defensive zone to create space entering the offensive zone. Or in this one, back-checking hard to catch up to the puck carrier. Or in this clip, watch him use his edges to gain speed entering the offensive zone. Or how he uses his edges here to stop and change direction after skating fast. Or in this clip, how he uses his edges to pivot in the neutral zone and stick check the puck carrier. And of course, we need to talk about his puck skills, and it really starts with his shot. He's got an absolute laser of a wrist shot. And he can release it with lots of pressure and little space. And he's got a heavy slap shot as well. And he's really good at utilizing saucer passes, like this long lateral one with pressure in the neutral zone, or this short one in the offensive zone. But most importantly, watch these two next similar saucers in the defensive zone with pressure for an effective breakout. And I wouldn't say his puck control is the quickest or most elite in this draft group, but what works for him is how he reads the ice quickly and makes smart plays to create space, like on this goal. Or here in the neutral zone, controlling the puck, then making a pass. Or here being patient with the puck and then managing to connect a pass despite being blocked by the defender. And of course, the shootout goal. It's not so much about having the quickest hands, but making a smart play to sell the shot and open up an angle for a goal. Just watch how he's got that goalie's leg literally shaking in anticipation. So I'd say his only real flaw is just that. He doesn't have the quickest hands in this draft class, and generally relies more on foot speed and positioning, rather than hand speed and stick positioning, and I think this clip does a good job of him all shift just not being able to quite get his stick on the puck in the defensive zone. Or in this clip, when he's back checking hard, but can't get his stick on the puck. Or here, when he cuts to the slot, but isn't quick enough to avoid a bad turnover. Or here, where he's just not able to get around the defender and gets beat. I don't want to say Perevalov's stick work is bad by any means, but that it stands out as a weaker area for him because he excels everywhere else. I wouldn't even consider this a flaw because his ability to shoot and pass and control the puck is still above most of his peers. So I want to turn back to his stats. As I mentioned earlier, his production seemed to drop off throughout the season, where in the first 10 games he scored 10 goals and 12 assists for 22 points, while in the 32 remaining regular season games, he scored a modest 15 goals and 13 assists for 28 points. His scoring pace of 2.2 points per game in those first 10 games was unsustainable, and only matched by other small sample sizes. And his goal scoring pace of a goal per game was only matched by generational talent Matvei Michkov, who's likely going to be drafted second overall in 2023, so it's clear that the pace he was scoring at was simply out of his league. This was a hot streak, and many goals came from lower percentage areas, but I don't want to call him lucky because he did work so hard to earn that his positioning. Now, the upside here, his scoring pace for the remainder of the season, which the 15 goals, 13 assists for 28 points in 32 games, was still really good. The assists didn't come, but I think that has more to do with his line mates not scoring, and also him not playing consistent top 6 minutes all year. But the goal scoring was still there. Scoring at almost a half goal per game is incredibly impressive at the MHL level. So as much as I think scouts will focus on him simply starting the season on a hot streak and maybe overlook him a little bit, that doesn't imply he ever had a cold streak. He's always, committed and working hard to score, so with his consistency, he has never really slumped. In fact, it wasn't until the playoffs that he went more than 2 games without a point for the first time. In conclusion, Alexander Perevalov is a hard-working 200-foot player that is consistent in all ends of the ice and capable of long scoring runs. He won't be the most dynamic forward on his future NHL team, but he will be able to play up and down the lineup in basically any role, from power play to penalty kill as a complementary piece to a top 6, or as a third-line energy guy. He can do a lot of everything and brings a full commitment every shift. The player I want to compare him to is Carter Verhaeghe of the Florida Panthers, and I'm going to rank him in about the 35th to 40th overall. But as far as draft projection, I can see him falling to the 3rd or 4th round. This is a good time to mention that Perevalov is my favorite forward out of Russia this year. I particularly love his game, and every year his Loko Yaroslavl team seems to produce a prospect that I really like. So I try to remain objective in my scouting, but my ranking on him is probably a little bit higher than I think some other scouts would agree with. And as far as teams I think he could fit on, I think he'd be a good fit for the Ottawa Senators. I am an Ottawa fan, so I feel pretty confident that he'd fit. Also, Montreal, really any rush team that can fully utilize his quick transition game. That is all for this one. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to follow along with the rest of the scouting reports I have planned until the draft, where Dopamon, my best friend, and I talk hockey news, analysis, got playoff coverage, and a lot more draft coverage as well before the end of the season, so stick around. Peace.